Hello YouTubers, and today we're going to be going over some basic economics for the undergraduate level. Now since I am starting this from the beginner 101 level or 1101, however your college likes to put it, or if this is just for you learning it on your own, we will be looking at what trips up most beginners, and then this will progress all the way up to senior level undergrad. Now whether you're in class or you're just doing this for personal reasons, you need to first know the definition of economics. And economics is a social science used to analyze the use of goods and services. Now this definition will vary from book to book or teacher to teacher. Now the best way to do this, of course, is to copy your teacher's or book's definition if you're taking this in a class, because it's most likely what you'll be tested on. But you do need to try and put it in your own words, because copying verbatim does not mean you've actually learned anything. Also, the term opportunity cost will be showing up a lot. Now, the opportunity cost is the cost of foregoing one option for another, such as your opportunity cost of buying a Pinto versus a Ferrari. Not only is there the monetary opportunity cost, but also how cool you're going to look or how good it makes you feel to be driving the vehicle. Now, whether you're taking economics as a major or you're just doing this as an elective class, the first basic thing that you're going to have to learn is supply and demand. I have price, that's the vertical axis denoted by a $, and the horizontal axis is quantity. You'll notice that supply starts from the origin and is upward sloping, and then the demand curve is the downward sloping line, starting from the top of price going to the maximum of quantity. Now this is just a basic sketch, and you'll see it in almost every book and class you take. And these two concepts are crucial to any understanding of economics. So take your time thoroughly and memorize all the basic functions that go along with them. Now first off, we're going to cover the fundamentals of demand. Demand is downward sloping due to its inverse relationship between price and quantity. And remember that price is the vertical axis with a $, while quantity is the horizontal axis with a Q. Now, its inverse relationship means that the higher the price, the less quantity demanded, and the reverse is true. The lower the price, the more quantity demanded. An example of this would be where if you looked at the demand curve where it's touching the top of the vertical axis, that's price, you can think of that as a widget that cost about $2 trillion, and no one wants to buy or probably could buy a $2 trillion widget. And if you look at the bottom right where demand is touching quantity, the price is considered zero at that point, while the quantity is at the maximum. That is because everyone that wants a widget can essentially get one since they're free. Now, supply is essentially the opposite of demand. As price increases, the suppliers are willing to make more of the good. So if you look at the chart, you'll notice that the higher the price, the more quantity produced for the blue line, denoting supply. Now that those easy concepts are out of the way, let's look at how to read and understand points on a demand curve. If you look at point A on the demand curve, you will see that point A at a price of P1 has a quantity of Q1 demanded by the market. Now if price is increased to P2, a smaller quantity of Q2 is demanded by the market. These two are represented by point B on the demand curve. Remember, this is an example of moving along the demand curve and not shifting of the demand curve. Finally, there is reading points along the supply curve. This curve represents what suppliers are willing to do at certain prices and quantities, whereas the demand curve is representing consumer responses. Now, if you look at point A, you will see that at a price of P1, the suppliers are willing to produce a quantity of Q1. And as mentioned earlier, at a higher price of P2, they are willing to produce a higher quantity of Q2. So that holds true that the higher the price is, the more the suppliers are willing to produce. Now, as these two concepts may have seemed relatively easy, it will take some practice to get used to, especially since this is just the basic grasp of it all. You will be presented with harder things if you continue your reading with economics. And on my next episode, I'll be discussing shifts on the supply and demand curve and the concept of holding other things constant.